Welcome to a 2024 rookie mock draft. We're basing today's mock draft off of a NFL mock draft done by Connor Livesick at the 33rd team. All the players that we could take are here. It's the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft, so just look at those. Also, if you want to see the draft, it's in the comments or in the description. We'll have a link. And before we start, this is based on a 12-team Superflex PPR league. Start 10 with a 1.75 tight end premium and 4-point passing touchdowns. So that being said, Dakota, you are first up.
Yeah, so with the first overall pick, I'm taking Caleb Williams, who's drafted by the Bears first overall. The reasoning is because in a 12-team league, there's a lot more QB scarcity, so I just felt it was the most valuable pick to take him number one overall. It's also quietly a good landing spot. You got DJ Moore there, as you're going to see later on. Rome Odunze was also drafted there. They still got Cole Kmet. They brought in a new offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. So I think that's a pretty good landing spot for a rookie quarterback, let alone a very talented prospect like Caleb Williams to go in and start right away day one. He's also got quietly nice rushing upside. I think he might run like high 4.5s, low 4.6s if he was to run his 40 at the combine. So you're getting that nice rushing upside floor that we want to see when you're drafting these quarterbacks too. So that's going to be my pick at the 101.
All right, Jeff, you're up at the 102.
I am up at the 102, and I took the fourth overall pick in the actual draft, Marvin Harrison to the Arizona Cardinals. Marv, top tier wide receiver prospect, one of the best we've had in years, if not the best. He lands in a nice spot with Arizona where he becomes the immediate wide receiver one. Really no competition for targets there other than Trey McBride. Last year, Kyler Murray came back late off injury. He really found McBride a lot. Marquise Brown kind of fell off. He'll probably move on. He's a free agent, I believe, this offseason. He'll most likely have a new home. Marv is going to be the all getting most of the target share with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray in the past has proven that he can supply uh, top wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins for years. Marquise Brown last year, not this past year, but the year before, had a really nice year. So he is going to be really good for the future. Kyler needs a weapon that he can really trust and go to, and Marv should get 10, 12 targets a game awfully soon. So that is what I decided to do at the 102.
All right, so I'm up at the 103 here. And there's really 2 players I was looking at, either Daniels or May. And I ended up taking Jaden Daniels. I went to the Patriots, which is an ugly landing spot, but because it's a 4-point passing touchdown league, I just have to lean Daniels over May just purely because his possible game breaking upside in the rush game. Obviously Patriots are not a good landing spot. They have 0 weapons right now, and they're kind of a shit show of a franchise at the moment. But this is Dynasty. It's a long-term thing. And also, Jaden Daniels probably has one of the better chances to perform right away out of these quarterbacks, just because, once again, his rushing upside, he can go in there and average 40 to 50 rushing yards a game, and that alone will make him a quarterback one. So, I like Daniels long-term. I also like him short-term. That's why I took him at the 103.
Yep. All right. So at the 104, I'm going to go Drake May. He was drafted to the Washington Commanders second overall. The reasoning is I think that's just a really good landing spot for Drake May. You've got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, a good trio of wide receivers. You also bring in Cliff Kingsbury at offensive coordinator, who's going to love to throw the football. And when I look at Drake May, I think his greatest talent is the deep ball and specifically deep ball accuracy. So I think you pair him up with Terry McLaurin, and that connection is going to be lethal. They're really going to tap into that deep ball that Drake May has, probably the best in the class. And he also's got a great rushing upside as well. Just watching him, he ran for like 500 yards, 7 touchdowns that last season in college. So that's just like a really solid quarterback, and we're going to take him at the 104. Again, going back to the QB scarcity with a 12 team, he's just good value. So 105, Jeff, where you going?
I took with the 105 the fifth overall pick in this mock draft, who was Brock Bowers to the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert's needed a big young weapon for years now. Keenan Allen's been elite, but they need somebody young, somebody fast. They went with Brock Bowers last year. They tried that with Quentin Johnson. Didn't really work out. He's not good. Bowers is a young guy, 21 years old, out of Georgia. Uh, Incredible yak ability, 6'4", has the ability to get up and catch the ball. Ridiculous speed. Was a great tight end at Georgia, one of the best in college football, if not the best. He will be a big asset for Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert in this offense, and I took him at the 105 in this 1.75 tight end premium. If it was a smaller premium, 1.5, maybe no tight end premium, probably lean Malik Neighbors, but because of the 1.75 format, I went with Brock Bowers at the 105.
Yeah, Bowers and a 1.75 premium on the Chargers is pretty gross. So I'm up at the 106. I'm going to take someone went to a bad landing spot, but has the talent, Malik Neighbors to the Giants. He went 6 overall in this mock draft, so he's got elite draft capital, which you'd love to see. So Neighbors has elite draft capital. He's a very good talent on a shitty team. It happens. We just have to go with the talent, though. So it's like here we have between Neighbors and Adunze. Adunze went to the Bears at 9, but Neighbors is, we believe, a significantly better talent than Odunze. So he might not produce year one because they might not have the quarterback play, or maybe he will produce year one. Maybe Daniel Jones will be able to supply him to be, decent. But hopefully the Giants can find a quarterback in the coming years, and it'll allow Neighbors to really unlock that high-end wide receiver potential that he possesses. Dak, you're up 107.
Yeah, 107, you mentioned him. I'm going to go Rome Odunze, drafted number 9 overall, the Chicago Bears. And the greatest selling point on Odunze is in this mock draft, he's paired with Caleb Williams for at least 4 to 5 years. And you kind of think like Jamar Chase being tied to Joe Burrow, like how greatly does that impact Jamar Chase's value? Like it's going to be obviously not saying Rome Odunze is Jamar Chase or be valued like Jamar Chase, but I mean, being tied to an elite quarterback like Caleb and they can grow together, that's just such an ideal landing spot for Odunze. I also think he's going to get enough targets. He's going to command targets. He's not a slouch at all. 90 catches over 1,600 yards his last year at Washington. So yeah, it's just a good landing spot. I think he's clear cut above the rest of the prospects. You'll see their draft capital later on. But yeah, going to Odunze at 107. Jeff, 108.
At the 108, I took Bills wide receiver Brian Thomas. The Bills selected Brian Thomas 28th overall in this mock draft. Wide receiver at LSU, in the same room with Malik Neighbors. Daniels threw him the ball in college. Now he gets to go play with Josh Allen. Obviously, wide receiver tied to Josh Allen is going to have their dynasty value increased. So this is why I took him at the 108. He was a really good prospect in college. Really dominated as a nice 2 to go along with Neighbors. I could see him moving up to be a wide receiver 1 with the Bills. Diggs will still be there, obviously, unless something happens this offseason. But I'm assuming that Diggs will be there. He'll be a nice second fiddle to Diggs. And then maybe he'll eventually take over that big wide receiver 1 hammer role, and his stock will go to the moon in the following years with Josh Allen as his quarterback.
All right, so I'm at the 109. Here we're going to go J.J. McCarthy, quarterback from Michigan. Now, a lot of people don't like J.J. McCarthy, but there's been a lot of buzz about J.J. in the past couple weeks about how NFL teams really like him. And this mock draft, he went 11th overall to the Vikings. So I think we could assume in this pretend world that Kirk Cousins either signed a 1-year deal or is gone. Either way, it's a great spot for JJ. The weapons in Minnesota are second to none, really. They have the best wide receiver in football, a great 2, and a great tight end. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. Along with that, JJ has good rushing upside and, maybe good NFL quarterback upside. It's a 12-team super flex, so we just have to take him here, 11th overall. He might even jump higher than this, realistically, if we're doing this in a real mock or in a real draft. But, yeah, JJ McCarthy, 109.
Yeah, like you said, 12 team. If you're drafted 11 overall, like, doesn't matter what your personal opinions on JJ McCarthy are. Like, NFL scouts are telling you, yeah, he's that good, so you got to take him there, especially in a super flex.
Especially in Minnesota, too.
Yeah, definitely. They got great weapons. You got to take him there. So now we're going to the 110. This is another prospect, kind of fits in with the JJ McCarthy boat of you might not like him, but you got to take him. Lad McConkey, drafted by the Chiefs, 32nd overall. Not a lot of people are probably putting Lad McConkey in the first round. He didn't really produce his final year at Georgia. He was kind of banged up, only at 30 catches, less than 500 yards, but he's a Chiefs receiver. You've got to take him at the 110. You're assuming that they're going to use him right away, along with Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. McConkey's not a bad prospect either. You can use him on the inside, on the outside. He's got great yak ability. 6 foot, 185 pounds. He has versatility. He's a good prospect, and I'm gonna trust Patrick Mahomes to figure out what to do with him if he gets drafted there. Just think about Rashee Rice's value last offseason or Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to the Chiefs a couple years ago. Like, if someone gets drafted that Chiefs offense, their value's going up. So we're gonna take him at the 110. So Jeff, where are you going? 111.
All right, at the 111, I took Troy Franklin, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers selected him 33rd overall with the first pick in the second round. Decently good draft capital there. Bryce Young needs a weapon. Last year he had Thielen, who is past his prime, DJ Chark, who's been mid his whole career, as well as Jonathan Mingo, who really didn't show that much in his rookie year. So Bryce Young needs somebody to get the ball to. He struggled last year. The Panthers obviously need to get him something to try to revive his career and save it while they still can. Troy Franklin is a speedster receiver out of Oregon, is probably going to run a low 4.3 combine, 40-yard dash time next month in Indianapolis. So this is a player that the Panthers need to hit on, and hopefully Troy Franklin is a nice weapon for Bryce Young to kind of boost his career in the early on.
Yeah, he's a player that has elite target upside his rookie year. He's going to step into his offense and kind of like Marv or Neighbors in this kind of players that we have here. Has a chance to be the number one target in the entire offense, which is exciting for him. So I'm up. Last pick, 112. We're going to go Bo Nix, who went to the Atlanta Falcons, 43rd overall. Bo Nix is ancient, but that is okay.
It's a quarterback. It's fine.
What we're leaning on here is that he's an early second round quarterback, which is, okay. They're hit or miss, but he's on the Falcons now. Falcons are one of the best possible landing spots for a quarterback. They have a really good O line. They have one good receiver, a good tight end, and an elite running back. So, like, you're not getting that good of weapons as a quarterback entering leagues. Like, you're just not. It's not happening. So, Bo Nix in a good offense. He's not going to have to do a whole lot, hopefully. He can hand the ball off to Bijan, dump it off to Bijan, throw it to London, throw it to Pitts. Like, he's got good weapons there. And the Falcons are also probably going to bring in another wide receiver or something like that because they have no wide receiver too. So, yeah, I mean, super flex, you got to take the quarterbacks. There's a couple other players that we're looking at here, but we ended up on Bo Nix. So
I also, for Bo Nix, I love the offensive coordinator hire, getting the Rams passing game coordinator coming from that McVay trade. That's what I can't ask for much more in a rookie quarterback than to have somebody that worked under Sean McVay kind of mentor him in his early on stage in the league.
yeah. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.